Welcome to Soulcast Podcast. My name is Henrik. I'm here to discover the unknown and bring you with me on this adventure by speaking my truth and being inspired by others. Fuck yeah. Hello, Ollie.
Hey, Henrik.
So, this is Ollie from Germany. We have known each other for 6 months now, and he's leaving Estonia, and we're doing this last podcast with him. Just a reminder, it's the third podcast. Just the two before were a bit low quality and just testing out. So now we're proper stuff.
All right.
So Ollie, let the audience know who you are and why you're here and what your plans, what people can expect about you in the future.
Like as you mentioned, I'm from Germany, and the whole reason for coming to Estonia was like doing Erasmus. So I was like at the beginning, where should I go in Europe? Because I had like a whole list of options. And I was thinking Sweden, but then I thought like Sweden might be boring. Let me go to the capital of Estonia. Never been there. And thanks God I chose Tallinn. It was the best decision I could have made, seriously. It was such a good time here. I'm really grateful for it. Yeah, and this brings us back how we met, right? This was the party of 2020, being locked down for a month in Germany and then coming to Estonia, and heaven on earth, everything was still open, people were still partying outside. This was great. So I went to one club just by myself, like I figured out lately that partying alone is one of the things I love. So I went once to this club Hall, you maybe know it, and yeah, just shared a joint and a pizza with some girl, and then she said like, if you like parties, maybe there's this party next week which you want to go, the hedgehog party.
Hedgehog party.
The hedgehog party. Yes.
That's where we met.
That's where we met, yeah. This was a pretty amazing party.
That was the biggest party I was last year. So that was for me really interesting. Sadly, I couldn't be all the 3 days there. I had I needed to move this table here on this apartment, and so it was a mission.
Yeah.
So continue. What you like about partying alone? Why is partying alone your thing?
I think everything started with going on vacation alone. When I finished my bachelor's, I was like so sick of being in the same place for such a long time that I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave Europe for 2 months, travel around the world and backpacked. And you know, like the hero's journey, like your parents or like your environment is telling you don't go because they're afraid something might gonna happen to you, but you still pursue your goal and do it, and then while doing it you actually notice there's no reason to be afraid, because if you just trust the unknown, like if you bow deeply enough towards the universe, it's going to take care of everything. So I met such wonderful people and nothing happened to me on those 2 months, and yeah, it opened my consciousness, my horizon, and I really loved ever since spending time alone, and which also includes partying alone. It's so easy to come in contact with other people, to have a deep conversation. Yeah.
about like trusting the unknown. This podcast name is Soulcast, Sense of Unknown Life. So what it means is to sense the unknown and be comfortable in it. So the podcast is from this kind of sensing the unknown and being comfortable what the other person is bringing out and just listening and having deep conversation about it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Sense of unknown life, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Beautiful table, by the way.
Yeah, thank you, man.
I really can feel the energy of it.
Yeah, even one person already slept on this table because he felt so much energy from it. And like, I don't know, when I was building this table, it's just children and everybody's just standing around it. And, you know, I was outside and coming back from shop or something, and just bunch of kids laying on my table. For no reason. Like, the reason was that this is awesome table and they can feel the energy, and subconscious is just bringing people around it.
I mean, you really put your soul into it, like it's written on it. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I guess it took you some time.
150 hours.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's was my
quite some time.
summer project. With this table, you know, I have many like opportunities to move my podcast somewhere else, but a lot of people don't want a table in their like place because it takes a lot of room away. So I didn't take the oh yeah, it's like 100 kilos or something. So
okay,
yeah, it's heavy, it's big, and there's just gonna be one place that I'm gonna go in with this table, because if the table isn't coming, I'm not coming. The podcast is around this table.
I can see that. Yeah, You two go together.
Yeah, it's like I made it for my own soul, so like a lot of love inside.
Mm-hmm. Feels special to sit on it.
Yeah, sometimes when I watch some movie, the camera doesn't see, but there's a TV just there, and I'm usually put some blankets underneath and watch some TV.
So you also actually chill on the table.
Yeah, man, it's a good way to recharge yourself because this table has energy.
Have you slept on it?
Yeah.
As well, yeah.
Yeah, not the full night. My back started to hurt, and it was like, but every time I wake up with a smile here. So I have slept maybe 2 times here, just to take a little nap or meditation, kind of like meditating or yeah. So let's move back to like Estonia and what you have like seen here. What's the most like what you would tell your family members, friends in Germany that why visit Estonia?
From my opinion, like the whole Baltics are completely underrated. I came by car. I chose to travel the whole distance, but just by me driving. So I stopped in Warsaw, did some couch surfing for 2 nights, then Vilnius, Riga, and then Tallinn. And the people and everything here is like surprisingly welcoming and futuristic. Like that's one thing Estonian is known for, like for this whole progression of doing things online, digital. So this is well known in Germany, but I mean, I've spent like 6 months right now here, and if I would answer the question, how was my time? It's hard to tell because you just cannot transfer the message or the feeling which I had in those 6 months in just a couple of sentences, but it was really, really something which, as we mentioned started on the Hedgehog Party. Like this was the ticket to. This was the first domino which fell into the place, and then from there all the other dominoes fell from their own. Like I've never went to such a place where like everyone you had a conversation with had something to say, was friendly, respecting, and just a lovely person, a human being. And the first night I met some people, which I met on the second night again, and then coming back to that place, you were sitting amongst them, like you were friends with them as well, like, but you didn't know them. It wasn't clear to me. So I just started talking to you, and you seemed like a nice guy. So from that moment on, we stayed connected and partied all night.
Yeah, that party was the first, like, no, the second party what I had when I was back in Estonia, but it was the first party I felt connected with, because the first thing I got into the party, I sat down on the couch outside, did my cigar, and started talk with people, and I've had a feeling like I've been with those people long time ago, like. And the end of the party, we're hugging each other and just having this connective vibe. And that was domino for me as well, the first domino of like socializing domino, because I was on my island and most of the time I was like a bit alone. I just and this summer I'm gonna do the same, be alone. I don't know, I feel like recharging and being connected with the nature, and at autumn and winter to be in city is good way to live, I think.
So you like spending time in solitude?
Yeah, I like it. It's pretty I don't know, I see that loneliness or being alone is a healthy way to get new ideas and figure out who you are. And I think most of my self-development processes started from being alone, when you started to listen to yourself, to understand what you want.
Yes, to listen to that inner guidance system, which everyone has inside themselves. Yeah, just to tune into. Yeah.
And that reminds me of your project. We can move on to talking about what's your next thing, what you're gonna do this year, what you're planning, and where this idea came from, because that's a like an important thing as well. Because if someone's listening and he's like, "Oh man, I want to jump into that as well," what inspired you, and that would be helpful.
Yeah, I mean, then we have to jump back like 2 years ago, approximately, when I did this journey around the world for 2 months, where I got into self-development. I was reading the book of Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now in German, and it resonated so much with me that shortly after I came back, I started to pick up meditation as a daily habit and got into heartfulness, which is basically a heart-based meditation. So this was like a catalyzer. From there on, everything just started to get better. My whole life, my whole relationships become more deeper and meaningful. So last year I started to pick up yoga when quarantine started. What you're gonna do, when you're staying at home. Started to pick up yoga. Now it's 1 year and my body is starting to get loosened up. Energy is flowing through all parts of my body. Muscles have been activated, which have been asleep for years. So this whole journey of the past 2 years is just like so amazing that I really found my passion into self-development. And that's what the whole idea I had is about, to make small animation videos, to give some value to other people, about educating themselves about all kinds of stuff, how to become the best version of themselves. And animation videos, because I really love animation videos. Ever since I was a small kid, I watched cartoons like everyone does, but then Pixar movies were just blowing my mind. And yeah, that's also what I study, media, computer science. So it's related with the technical component and the art component. So I think I really found something where I can put my energy into, and I'm just getting started. So I'm hyped.
Yeah, it takes time, and a year ago I started my process. So a year ago, when this Corona started, I was like thinking of myself like, what the hell I'm gonna do? I haven't achieved anything, and this world can end like this because of human like wrong minding, doing like just things without a heart, and that woke me up that I need to do something. And a year later, we're on a podcast.
Look where we are right now. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all taken a lot of time, and what this time has taught me is that I really want to do this podcast. I really want to put my products out there, and I really love to do wood art like this table, because this is my passion, and
It fulfills you.
yeah, it fulfills me. It's not easy, but every time I have an upgrade, like this lighting, this podcast is something what I'm really happy about. Like when I put the light on 2 days ago, I was like, man, this is awesome.
It's like a baby starting to grow, right?
Yeah.
And soon it's gonna start to learn how to walk, and from there on, who knows where it's gonna walk.
Exactly, man. This self-development ideas and passions, where they can come from, is there's a lot of ways to get into your passions. But most of all is listen to yourself. Listen what you want to do. Yeah.
I mean, everyone is so different. Everyone is so unique. We cannot compare our journeys with each other, because we all have been shaped through our experiences, and our experiences have been so different. So each of us has like some special gift to contribute. It just is the task to figure out what. So that's why it's so important to actually tune into yourself and to look for the answer inside yourself, not outside yourself.
It's been I would bring this right now, that law of attraction. So I was vibrating in a level that when I started this, in September when we met, I was vibrating in a frequency that I started to vibrate those people around me who are interesting and meditating and listening to their heart.
Exactly.
And this is kind of, it started because I'm doing what I love to do. I was pushing myself to, to be myself. And what a surprise. Now I have so much cool people, so much cool places to go, so much cool conversation on camera. We're feeling comfortable. We're not really worried about what the podcast would look like, or how you're gonna feel. Most of the people feel pretty okay here.
I have to say I was a bit nervous in the beginning, but now that we started the conversation, it's getting much better, and I'm feeling myself right now. Like as you said, like I came here and didn't know anyone, and after 6 months I have like a whole network of awesome people who are kind of doing what I'm doing, developing themselves, actualizing, either doing yoga, meditation, starting their own business, like you pursuing your dream of starting your own podcast, or my friend Birk, who started his own mushroom growing company. It's like just so inspiring to see people who don't limit themselves, just believe in themselves and do it. And even though there are so many challenges ahead of us, life is a challenge.
Till the death we have challenges. There's no
Yes.
one time we have like, oh, there's no challenges anymore. I've done it. Nah, you have challenges till you die.
This is our chance actually to learn from them, to grow on them.
Oh man, yeah. And I think what's self-development or self-actualizing is doing is that to get rid of these old patterns, the older like challenges, what you like haven't still leveled out, that you have your old stuff still behind you, and to be self-developed enough that those old patterns don't affect your life anymore, and there's only new challenges. But without the old ones, you can move forward in life more easy, because you have this like um, kind of comfort, because you know that you're in the right place or you have done your work, so it's easier to go. I'm in the process right now to do my work on myself, to self-actualize even more, so I don't have these old patterns, what I have still, but it's years of training and doing. And
Yeah, you cannot change overnight. No one can.
yeah, yeah, some people can from some ayahuasca or some DMT experiences or mushrooms.
Okay, if you have like such a mystical experience that it shatters your world, maybe it can, yeah. Then life isn't the same. But for the general average person, change doesn't happen overnight. And as you said, we have so many patterns in us which are deeply buried in our subconsciousness. If you think about it, like 95% is we're living into the subconsciousness, and only 5% is the creative mind, the conscious mind. So our past always is trying to impose itself on the present moment, because like there are things going on, and that's the point where you need to stay present and to become aware of this is from the past, not to react to it. So by changing the way we are in the present moment, we can shape our future, not to live the same way we did in the past, not to do the same mistakes again.
Meditation has been a big part of self-development for you, for sure, and for me as well.
Yeah.
What has been like the most eye-opening experience from meditation, or why you're doing meditation often, and so people can be more aware, or why people do meditation? Because sometimes it's hard to tell people that meditation is good for you, you're being with yourself, and it helps to release stress and anxiety and depression. And yeah,
there's like this meme which just came to my mind. It's like a wall which has like big cracks in it, like cracks that you can actually put your whole hand into it, and then someone put a tape just above it, and then the meme, the caption below is like people saying that when after one meditation it didn't fix their problems, So I don't know, it's something we are, how to put it, like something so, I don't know, we think of something like really magical or not magical. Yeah, I'm lacking the word, but it's actually astonishing to me that just by sitting down and just by trying to listen to your heart. That's what the heartfulness approach is about, that you just imagine there's the source of light in your heart, and every time a thought comes to mind, you just bring your attention back to the heart. And it's also said in ancient texts that, like the Gita, that the heart is the seat of the soul. So by sitting down and tuning into that heart, that you become a different person. Like, it creates a condition where you can see more clearly. You see your own bullshit. So by continuously doing it, you actually have a chance to make a decision every time you detect your own bullshit by reacting in a different way. And by reacting in a different way, continuously, you shape your destiny, the person you want to become.
Do you believe that we have some kind of path already written for us from before we born, and where the direction is going, but we still have our freedom to, misbehave or
It's a good question.
change our path?
I think there's some people who believe that everything we do is like written out already, and there are some people who believe that nothing is written out, like it's our completely free will of everything. I would say the truth is somewhere in between. Like, we are determined by our genes in the way, but through epigenetics, we know that the environment signals the gene and can activate and turn off genes. So in this way, our destiny is not written down, we can shape it. But the soul, for instance, is something we cannot change. The soul just gives life to us, but it's not changeable. So to some degree, it is determined, but to the most part of it, I think we are the shaper of, or the creator of our own world. What do you think?
From my experience when I was little, I had memories that I was above this earth and choosing my next life, and it was like a feeling without a body, and feeling that I'm connected to something, what I'm communicating, but we don't have, like, we're not talking to each other. It's just like feelings or energy. And I knew exactly where I am. That's the most like um, realistic or weird thing about this memory, that I was comfortable. I knew where I am, and I was choosing my life. I knew exactly. So I remember even choosing between Holland and Estonia. I said Holland is too much, and I want to go to Estonia. And lights out. The next memory I had was I was in a child's bed. My mother and father looked at me, and I was looking at them. I said, "This is my mother, and this is my father. This is my next life." And lights out, and then slowly this life started to all unfold. That I was a babe, not like the memories, the usual memories that everybody have, but those are like the ancient memories. It's like something in subconscious, something what my soul is telling me. So I don't know. I understand kind of that. Yeah, I have like free will. I can fuck up. I can jump out of the window right now and kill myself. Like, I'm not gonna do it, but this is my free choice. I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And some other people's free will can take your will to live, and there is this kind of higher, Like I believe in same that's in the between, but it's hard to say. But from that experience, I'm sure that there's something about this and something before and after, and that experience gives comfort to die and comfort to be alive as well.
Like, did you take some substances to have this?
No, was 10 years old then when those memories started to come out.
Crazy.
It's like out of nowhere memories. I don't remember being seeing in them in dreams that I wake up and oh, what a dream. Or I remember that just out of nowhere slowly coming memories, me being somewhere else. And when one moment you put the picture together, but I was so young I didn't want to speak about it, because I know that what they do with people who talk about things what they see or have heard, and there's some psychos or like they're not all right, like wow, well, billions of people haven't seen that, so Henrik must be wrong. And I didn't want this attention on me, that or to say something out of line with society as well, because I wanted to be liked or so on. But older I get, more I don't give a fuck what other people think about me. And this is my most powerful thing, because I can speak like this and do these things, but other people can't dare do it because they right care about what their family or friends or society thinks about them, and they never can step out of their comfort to be themselves.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a deep thing for me to speak about that. Yeah. So what is happiness? What is happiness after this all?
Like, I read a couple of books which were making a reference to what happiness is, and one of my favorite books is like Search Inside Yourself by Chad Tang, a guy who works for Google and created an initiative organization to become more mindful. So, and he also had like a couple of meetings with the Dalai Lama, and the Dalai Lama talks a lot about being happy. And for me, being happy is a state of mind, peace of mind, where you have basically no turbulence in your head. There's just like a silence, and in that silence, there's like a noise in the background, which you usually don't recognize because it's always so busy in our head. And this noise is just happiness. It just arises when your mind is in peace and you don't think about anything. It's just constantly there, but through our stress we live in, we don't see it. When I open my eyes after like a deep meditation, it's so real. It's like inside of you. But you cannot tell it to anyone because you can only feel it yourself because it's inside of you. Then I feel really happy. Because we think like happiness is something external, like a family, a spouse, good friends, which is important, definitely, but it just gives us temporary pleasures. So we don't want to be dependent on things. Happiness should be something lasting, and this can only be achieved when you calm the fuck down, like when you arrive in the present moment, which is easier said than done, but meditation helps. Yeah.
What's been your longest meditation?
Like, interestingly, I'm so hooked on self development that I started to write down how long I meditate every day. I have a journal, and I started to transfer those data into an Excel sheet. So I think the longest meditation ever was like 60 minutes or 62 minutes. But it really depends. Some meditations are just like 20, 30 minutes, and at the end of those 20, 30 minutes, you're at a state where you sometimes only reach when you had meditated 60 minutes. So it depends in which condition you are when you meditate. Like, sometimes you sit down, have like so much turbulence in your head, and it takes a lot of time for this turbulence to go away, and then only then you can startly go into the meditation. All the way before, you just made the way to the meditation. And some days you just sit down and you're so calm already that you just sink into yourself. So it depends. An average meditation session is like half an hour for me, but I do it every day. And you, what's your longest?
My longest has been 2.5 hours. But this was in Australia after I had a DMT experience and LSD and MD all together. And the next few days I felt really enlightened. I had like a few new energy inside of me. And I just thought of meditating, what else to do with this energy, just to be with it. And I just put some really slow music. And I just meditated, and I had like a blank white wall in front of me. So consciousness was watching a blank wall, and I was just there. Once I took a piss between this 2.5 hours, yeah, that was the first time I had like experience that I'm nowhere. I don't feel my body, but I'm really conscious of everything, kind of. That if I feel something in my body or something aching, I feel it like straight away. But doing this for an hour and more, I just started to let go even more and more and more. I'm being on and off. Past 2 years been my most frequent meditating. Some months maybe I skip. Most of the months I do, in weekly basis, at least 4 or 5 times. I feel a lot of benefits from meditation. It helps me to calm myself down, to recognize myself, who I am and who I become, and what's illusions, what I'm telling to myself, the stories, what I'm telling to myself, how things should be, that to recognize them and leave them. A lot of benefit from meditation has been letting go of things.
To focus on your work, right?
Yeah, it helps to focus on my work. I would be spread around so everywhere. This year my meditation told me that I need to, last year in the end, my meditation told me to bring my focus on things what I want to achieve, really. So I had end of the year, I had so many places to be, so many places to do something. But in the end, if I'm doing everything, I'm never gonna be something good on something what I want to be. So with my podcast products and my wood art, I'm gonna concentrate on them. And at the beginning, last year, I wanted to be somewhere with some group, or like Winkle or Lovrom or Misha. I still like to be there and like to be around them, but I understand that I'm not kind of like a tribe person. That one person in Australia said I am the tribe. So I'm figuring this out, kind of.
You're trapped by yourself, you mean?
Yeah. Like I I don't know, like I don't like too many people around me. I like those special, like not special, but those like really who I feel comfortable to be around. So I can be myself without any judgment from the other side. Because I saw this a lot when I'm changing like this and being myself. A lot of people are judging me because they don't see this kind of attitude in the normal society, like being a bit aggressive as well. That's my like kind of way, be a bit pushy about my ideas because
Yeah.
like because a lot of people don't put them out, so somebody needs to take their balls into their hands and start to say those things, because if they haven't said out loud when it's time to make decisions, then we're gonna miss a big part of information what we would integrate into decision making. So this is why I understand we need to have some balls and not to be pussy flakes with our own
Yeah,
voices.
totally. Remind me of a quote that if you want to make the world a better place, you have to be willing to be unpopular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said to you yesterday, that I think I'm the least popular person who's gonna start a podcast, because really, like, I don't have like a big friend group, or like I'm just starting now.
I mean, basically all the friends you surrounded yourself with before going to Australia are not your friends anymore, or most of them are not, right? Because you changed a lot.
Yeah, like we don't vibrate in the same frequency.
Yeah.
Like some are stuck in the computer, some are stuck in their like beliefs on something, some are in jail, and some are just kind of, yeah, and they don't want to change, and they're kind of slowly destroying themselves. And what this guy said to me, it's just a pain in ass constantly. This life is pain and suffering, and I understand him because I've been there as well. But it's sad some people can't get out of it. Um, yeah, I don't. I still like communicate with few people, and they have been here and helped me to
Yeah,
get
who
this
knows?
table here.
Maybe inspires them to see yourself, that you pulled yourself out of this shit, of this misery, and look where you are right now. You know, you're doing good.
One guy is planning to go to Australia as well, gather some money, have some experiences. I think Australia can help on this path, but again, it can.
Yeah, traveling in general.
Yeah, we get to this, but some people just go for money. So if I see those people, they're not really changed. They keep in the groups of what they've been before, and it's not big change. For me, I went to, with the like idea that I want to change big time. I want to see the world. I want to experience the cultures and what other people can bring. But if you're not open minded for it, and you're going with your idea to make only money, you're gonna miss this all, even if it's front of your eyes. You're gonna
Yeah,
miss it.
you limit yourself just to this one perspective that you don't perceive all the possibilities. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I see like in Estonian like way that judge people, and to I don't know, it's a difficult way to put in words, but there is like this competition that your success my success before yours, and something like that. At least the friend group what I was
us
growing up.
versus them. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're always in this mode of competition, survival.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's like instead of being happy for the other person, we are like envy that the other person is doing good in life, without realizing that we are all one. We're doing this to us ourselves. Once you actually tap into the frequency of love, of gratitude, then everything you send out will come back to you. It's like, I don't know how this shit works, but it just works. Like, seriously, as when you start being happy for others and being really happy, genuinely happy for others, at one moment it will be your turn. Something will happen to you, you know.
Yeah, like being around with those people who are like bringing this down and this constant survival and competition with others, and I saw a lot of people just want to be in your face to show that, look, I have bigger muscles, or I have more money than you, or like, and I was pretty young age, like I don't give a fuck how much money you have, how much muscles you have. I didn't want to compete with others, and I didn't give this competition for them as well. I was always like, if they come to like next to me, or look, I have bigger muscles, I was like, but for others it was like they started to flex as well and like compete, like, oh. So that's one thing what been like, some people say that I'm an old soul, and if I looked up months ago,
I told you this a couple of times.
yeah, and it was 3 times in a month that somebody says I'm an old soul, and nobody now have said it because I started to look up what it is. But or yeah, okay. Ave said on the podcast that I'm like an old soul as well, and yeah, people are saying this to me, but that
To that
was
point where you couldn't avoid it anymore,
yeah,
right?
yeah, and there's some truth behind it. Don't want to wear a label, but there's some truth about behind it, and my like how I take life, and how I move through life from a young age already. A lot of people who I was communicating or being friends in old times, they said like, cut with your old man's like ideas. I had I thought of life from really like old age. Like I'm 14, but I was thinking like
Yeah.
30 or something. I wanted to be around like people who are
Yeah.
thinking more wiser ideas, not talking bullshit.
We
and
could
stuff.
look up to, yeah. We could learn something from them.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
didn't have those people.
the day I met you, I really thought you're like in your 30s, like 35, and then you were saying you're 24, younger than me. Like, dude, you know, it's all, you know, whatever it means. And I think you're figuring it out.
Yeah, slowly. It's been a ride, because 6 or 7 years ago, when I started this process, I was so in a shithole. I didn't know what the fuck I want, who I am, and what's gonna happen with me. And some reminder from my old friend, who is kind of in a bad stage of life right now. That's what I avoided. That's why I took my shit together, to be more healthy and more, happier, more peaceful in my life. Because this isn't peace, this isn't enjoyment of life, what he's living right now, or I have lived in the past. So, but we're kind of scared of change, or what other people think of us if we change. But it doesn't, like, we
Totally.
you shouldn't care about it, because those people all around who I had in back in the days, they aren't here anymore. Everything is changed, and I have better friends. I have better lifestyle than ever before, because I wasn't like afraid of change, and I don't give a fuck what other people think of me.
Yeah, everyone has this image of themselves as we present ourselves when talking to other people, and when we get praise, or the opposite, like getting shit from them, getting insulted. This image, this ego which we build up is like insulted, like you feel really bad about it. But we shouldn't give too much about this image we put in our heads, like we're a community of 50 trillion cells. Every cell is conscious, and to live life according to someone else, how they want us to live our life, is just like ridiculous. I mean, of course they mean good, but in the end it's just your life, you know, like you're this machine which has been given life on this planet, and to limit yourself because others don't see it the way life you see it, is like, this doesn't work. So yeah, just do it, you know. Don't get hung up on the praise or on the critics. Take it as some feedback, but just keep going for the sake of doing it, you know.
So I want to put this out there because I'm a deep thinker, and I see a danger of this kind of society movement what we have right now, that a lot of people don't see it, but this is the taking away your individual, your face, your uniqueness, that we need to be the postmodern humans, like just a blank wall, like walking everybody's wearing a mask. We're all the same.
Putting a mask on top of the mask which we already have.
What is missing? We have earplugs. We have a face, like a mouth cover. It's the only eyes what see. But if you take this away as well, then you're not human anymore. You're a machine. What is made by some rich guys who think how a human should look like. They modify you by internet, what you watch from school, from young age. They start to program you, and we lose our individual faces. And why people are so unhappy? Because they have lost their connection with themselves. And don't listen to me, don't listen to Ollie or other people. Listen to yourself, what you want. And don't think that the masses thinking like that, that's the truth. Fuck the masses. Because the individual truth, what you want to do, is more real than all those billions of people around you. You make your own reality. You make your own dreams come true. Nobody's gonna help you. Some people are gonna help you if you have self-actualized yourself and you see what you want, and other people can help you because they want it as well. But we're all moving on our own level for our own dreams too. So just make the move.
Yes.
And make the move from your own soul. And again, fuck what others think. I think this is why I say it so much, because this is most powerful thing what I understand it is. Look inside of yourself and don't care what other think. This is
you're completely
thing.
Independent of good or bad opinions of other people.
Yeah. I have sometimes just yesterday some guy came to me those 2 days ago, like the bank guys. Oh, where's your pension in? And like oh, let me check it. Like, and he said like oh, like a good outfit, I look like a cowboy. And most of the times I'm like, I don't give a fuck, you know, like I know that I look good, but that time I felt the emotions went up, like somebody gave compliment to me. But I was pretty used to it. I'm pretty used to people giving compliments because of my looks or something. But I'm trying to be aware of that I'm not letting my emotions to control my ass, that I'm aware that somebody's just giving you flattery to be aware of their get something out of you. So that's why they make compliments. In the first minute they see you, they stop the conversation in the middle to give you a compliment, so the vibe is better to continue. But this is check up on your emotions, because this has been used to market vaccines. It's a way to market the masks and most of the shit what you don't want to buy but you buy because emotions.
Consumerism,
yeah, capitalism. They don't fucking give a fuck. Do you need it or you're gonna be healthy? They just want to make money, and we need to accept that this is the world what we live in.
Yeah, this whole pandemic is thriving on fear.
Yeah,
spreading the fear through all kind of mediums.
and self-development for me isn't that only peace and happiness or something. Hey, it's about truth and seeing the deeper side of life. It's not being happy with happy in the illusion that life is so amazing. Life is being ignorant in life. But for me, happiness is that you're aware of the things what happening, and you accept the truth, and you're honest with yourself as well.
Yes.
And
so easy to fool yourself.
Yeah, you can fool yourself to be happy. I have done it. I could be happy for maybe 2 months to fool myself that I'm happy now, but the reality was I wasn't happy. And in a few months I just burned myself out, because that wasn't real me, because that was just a mask what I put on. And that was last year. I tried so many different mindsets, so many different things last year to test out what is happiness, how I should be to be happy. So I went back and forth to church, this way of being. And yeah, it's honesty and being your true self. And we step out sometimes, we fall down because of still social pressure, and it's on me as well, but I'm just aware of it. I'm aware of this social pressure, and I'm bringing myself always back when I see myself doing things for other people, for the common good, so to say. But I don't believe in it.
You just mentioned that you don't get deluded by following your emotions, or basically...
I am, but I'm aware of it, so I'm kind of more controlled than the usual consumer. Or
because this is what I watched a TED Talk yesterday of some Shaolin monk, and he was also giving his recipe for happiness, and they're 5 hindrances he talked about, and in the end he gave a recipe to identify in which hindrance you are, to accept it and then question it, and this to relativify that you are not your emotion. You're just having this emotion, but you are not the emotion. Neither you are the body or the mind. You're experiencing all of those things. It's like Eckhart Tolle said, basically just consciousness, which experiences all of these things, and we identify with all of those things, which gets us into trouble sometimes. It's easier said to done, not to be influenced by our emotions, because the world is run by emotions. I would say not many people are in that stage as you are, where you try to live a relatively influence-free life, not ruled by emotions.
Well, mm, yeah, it's a process. I haven't like got anywhere yet. I'm just like figuring this stuff out still. It's I see myself sometimes too aggressive and rugged. That I'm rough and tough. Like
Mm.
still I'm a softie. I love everybody. I love you people there. But yeah, it's a balance between everything. Like being aggressive or not aggressive, being lovely or not lovely. I think there's a balance between everything. That life isn't like in one side, because that's why we have this universe and this planet and everything, because the 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 opposites make this world like this beautiful place to be in. But
The duality we live in.
yeah, but there is like this oneness, and oneness is between everything, and the balance between everything.
Yes, when you transcend all of those.
So living emotionlessly, like not emotionlessly, but being not emotional with society and marketing and
Not
your
be
own.
influenced by those emotions.
Yeah, but same time, you can't be too uh, not influenced, because it's like kind of emotions are happiness. Emotions are part of human experience,
Exactly.
and not not to, because I was reading one book. I don't remember the author, but it's called an Estonian book, and it's called uh, "World's Biggest Addiction: Emotion." So that's the biggest addiction for us. Everything what we do is emotions, based on emotions. We smoke, we drink, we.
You know what Eckhart Tolle says the most common addiction is? Thinking.
Yeah.
And thinking is actually the step which comes before emotion. You have the thought, out of the thought, an emotion arises. So the thinking is more like the problem. We're constantly thinking about things, which is brings us back to meditation, right? It's a tool to regulate the mind. This monkey mind sometimes drives us nuts.
Oh yeah, man.
Can't
Been
stop that thing, you know?
too much, man. I think that blew my nuts in one point of life, where I stood down and thought to myself, like, what the fuck I'm gonna do? Because my thinking was just making me crazy. Like, like I had suicide thoughts back then, and that's how crazy back, like, far I went with my thinking. So other people don't need to go that far to start to think about like suicide, but check yourself before you get to that, and meditate, because it's not a healthy way to like go. Really stressful.
Yeah, there is a dark side to self development, definitely. You experience all kinds of side effects, which I was not aware of it when I was going on this path. So knowing about them helps a lot, because when they come bottle up from the subconscious, you know that this is due to meditating, and then you don't fall into this thought of killing yourself. It could be a thought of, my life is shit, I need to kill myself. But then this is because I meditate. I don't give in to this thought. Just accept it, and it passes. So yeah, it's not everything unicorn and butterflies, but it's a process, you're making this whole machine run more smoothly.
Yeah, man. Just a reminder, we have half an hour to go, because my camera battery doesn't hold up any longer. So
Okay,
it's
cheers to that.
new podcast, and this is Jerry liquor. My friend made it.
Cherry coffee. Isn't it with
Liquor.
coffee?
Hmm?
Isn't it also with coffee something?
It's cinnamon inside. Smell it, man. It smells so good, man.
Yeah.
So good to have good friends.
What are we cheering to?
Another successful years of self-development and self-actualizing and helping the society to become more aware of themselves and their own dreams and making the stuff happen what they want to.
Yeah, to bring humanity to the next stage.
Yes.
Yes.
Cheers to that, brother.
Cheers, bro.
That's some good stuff. And what with my podcast, I want to keep things really real. So outside of the podcast and in the podcast, if I'm smoking weed, I'm not telling lies that I'm not smoking weed or making a face that I'm not doing this or that. If I'm drinking alcohol, I'm gonna drink in front of the camera like a gentleman, having a gentleman's drink, not too much, and
Being real.
being real, because there's a lot of fake shit and a lot of fake faces in YouTube, so I don't want to be that guy, because with the mask wearing, you can't wear the mask all of your life. You're gonna break down, the shit will come out, and better to be myself in the beginning, and just because in one moment the lies come out, and so
Yes.
one of the shitty things what I told I'm gonna do but I have failed is no fap with Nayland. I said like I'm not gonna fap anymore, but I have fapped, and
But you did know fab, right?
yeah, I did over a month, but it's pretty difficult when you've been fapping so much.
And
But I've been this past 2-3 months. I've been off fapping so much more than all my life. So
it's off the roof right now, you're saying.
like in
It's more than usual.
not right now. Not,
the
like
contrary.
past 3 months I've been off it more.
Like, funny that you mentioned it. I'm doing still no fab. We started kind of the same time without telling it each other.
Yeah. Because it's a sensitive thing between men and in the picture of being man and masculine. But the truth is, every man has come into a porn, like watching porn. Almost every man.
Exactly. I think it's totally normal for our society to grow up with porn. It's such a regular thing.
Yeah. It's not okay, but it's the reality.
It is not, but it is played down to the point where you say, it's just porn, But I'm over this point and I'm trying to get away from it, which is not easy. I'm on it for 2 years. You make progress, then you fall back, then you make more progress, you fall back again. But
spiral.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to make 3 steps back to make 5 steps, 10 steps forward. Yeah. So I'm on day 54 of the NoFap challenge today.
Woo! You go, man.
And I actually never thought I could pull it off. But I'm doing it, and It's all in the head. It's all in the head. So once you really have the will to do it, you can do it. I mean, you can fool yourself, like, just today, you know, I'm not gonna fap today, and then tomorrow you're gonna wake up, you know what, not today, maybe tomorrow, and you play that game for 54 days, and here we are.
Yeah, that's how it started for me, like with fapping again. Like I was like, man, this one time I would enjoy it after a month so much, you know. Then I did it, and I like kind of alright. I felt better because I had this release of like tension of like I can concentrate on like on my work and stuff without thinking about the tits and pussy, you know. Sometimes, you know, this gets into your mind so much that it's distracting you. So
It's
that's
exactly planting the seed into your head, and then the machine is running,
yeah.
and you cannot stop it totally.
But done like past 2-3 months. I did 1 month without vaping, 1 month without alcohol, 1 month without um, uh,
Weed.
yeah, weed and weed I haven't done. This I have done last year, but not this
It's your
few months ago.
kryptonite.
Yeah, I have many kryptonites. Coffee has been my, I think, most addictive thing. I couldn't live without it. My best friend can tell me I was mad as fuck when I didn't get my coffee in the morning. And straight away when we woke up, it's coffee time. And you know what you gonna do? Like your friend is a coffee addict, and I just took my coffee really seriously. And
Still do, yeah.
yeah, I don't. Was the first year I took a month off, where I haven't taken off. Like maybe I have missed maybe one day past 10 years, maybe 2 days maximum, where
Yeah.
I haven't drink the coffee. I drink coffee morning, day, evening, morning, day, evening, and I took a month off. I still, after a month, I was like, man, I'm gonna try a little coffee. I like the taste of coffee, but I don't like the effects anymore. So it's stressing me out. I feel when I drink coffee, my body gets tense. I'm more aware of it now. It's not my regular vibe anymore. When I was consuming coffee day after day, I didn't even feel the like effects on my body. And now I feel the effects. I'm drinking only the tea what I gathered from summertime from my island, and taking lion's mane and cordyceps, but wake me up as well. They have this um, um, oh wait, in English, and never mind. Cordyceps is for energy, and a lot of people who do sports like cordyceps because you can do more after taking cordyceps. So it's a good way to switch out coffee.
I mean, going back to your kryptonites, you know, it's like one thing to become aware of them, first step, and then if your goal is to get rid of them, like to become like the best version of yourself, to live completely off substances, which is like at least my ultimate goal, to be just happy without any stuff, then it's best to tackle them each by one by one. So as we say, you cannot change overnight. So you change the porn addiction habit, then you drink less coffee here and there, and you see yourself how you feel. Like you're the experimenter and the outcome. This is the beautiful thing about self-development. All the three things at once. So you can see by tweaking some parameters how you feel, and getting your own recipe for making progress. So look at you. Now you know that you don't need coffee.
Yeah.
You found a different way of, I guess you drink tea, right? With the lion's mane and the cordyceps in the morning. And then you...
Well, this is a bit more beneficial because I know lion's mane and cordyceps restores your cells. So I have damaged cells from like long time taking drugs and alcohol and other substances, and now I'm just restoring my cells, and I feel the cells restoring. And what makes me happy with my products are when Vlad, we had Kundalini yesterday, when he said like, yeah, it works. He took lion's mane from me and he said it works. And
he's taking them,
yeah. And when you said it works, and like it's not only me, like I'm helping people to become a better become more aware in life and focused.
Yeah, it's no hoax. It's seriously doing something to you,
and it takes time, and consistency is one of the things. You need to be consistent of taking your mushrooms as well. So
consistency is key in so many things.
Yeah. And to come back on my maybe table to say that the idea came a year ago when this all started, and I was man, I need 3 things so I don't get bored of doing one thing. What I like to do. I like to watch podcasts. Can I maybe make a podcast myself? I can, but what is the minuses and pluses, the pros and cons? And I added everything up. The pros was that I'm helpful for the society, I'm helpful for myself, and I'm helpful for the guests who I have, because it's a good way to practice.
Helpful?
Helpful? What you mean?
You're saying helpful for the guests?
Yeah, like it's helpful for the guests to, be here to practice their, being on the camera and saying their thing on. Open.
You mean giving value?
Yeah, you can. So I see as a podcast what it does. You give value to me. I give value to you.
Yes.
We give value to the viewer, and the viewer gives value back to us.
Yes.
It's a circle of.
It's a give and take. Yeah, totally.
Like nobody's taking more or less from this situation.
Exactly.
Okay, still, like if I'm even growing like to Joe Rogan stage when I have 10 million subscribers, till then, still I'm putting more same value to you, to me, myself, and to the viewer, and the circle goes on.
Provided that you still keeping real with your stuff,
yeah,
which you will do, I guess, for sure.
The Joe Rogan inspires me because he still keeps it real. I understand he's in a difficult situation right now because politics is lean to him right now as well. He can't really some way. I see him going in a way that like being careful with his words and not smoking so much weed on the scene and so on.
Yes, he smoked weed in this podcast.
What?
Has he smoked weed in front of the camera?
Oh man, so many times.
Every
podcast has been high. So, but now, he has this pressure on, and I can't really blame him. I am happy that I'm not the first one who was like in this position, and I can learn from him to not do the same mistake, to change and start thinking about the society's problems, or how to be real from the society standards. So
you were saying you need 3 things for this podcast. which are like one of those things is the table, right?
Table was one of the side things, but I was like I like to make wood art. This knife there, the antler, and the display there, and the
Tree trunk.
tree trunk candle stand. I like to do those things. So I was like, why not to put my podcast together with my wood art, make a table.
And then adding value to the whole thing by
Every
inviting.
episode we have, this table gets more value onto it because he listens. The soul is listening. And third thing is my products. So why I had this like confidence to do was lion's mane. I had this confidence because I was taking lion's mane, but I was smoking heavily weed. But this lion's mane helped me to be more focused and more aware of myself and this world. And after that, this confidence came in, and I started to think what I'm gonna do. And I was like, I need money, I need support for my table, for my podcast. So why not start to sell lion's mane or beneficial supplements? What aren't some chemical powder what you put your body into consuming, but your body doesn't even want to accept it, so you just pee it out or shit it out or sweat it out. That's usually how our body reacts with supplements what aren't really good for your body. So I found out that cordyceps, lion's mane, and chaga, and other mushrooms are really good with our immune system. And now, I am just selling them, and this is like the way I'm going. That after this podcast, there's gonna be an outro, and people can like get to know how to support me by buying my products or going to Patreon, giving me every episode €1. And after when I have 1,000 people who are just supporting me with €1 episode, it's not too much. I can live off of my podcast and my products, just doing this, and I can put even more value onto this world.
Yes, I love to invest in people who pursue their dreams, and start something on their own. Like Vlad is doing his Kundalini yoga, you're doing your product, and I love to invest my money in those projects because I see the value in it. Because what's more beautiful to do than to live from what you love? So yes, I totally support that. I mean, everyone would love to be in a situation where he does what he loves and makes a living from it. Another thing which I was reading lately in this one book, like How to Live a Good Life by Rolf Dobelli. The book didn't resonate with me so much, but like one of the things gets stuck with me, that when you make a salary up to $70,000 per year, you are happy, and everything above that salary doesn't increase the value of your happiness. So we don't need to be millionaires. We just need the solid foundation of some money, like to have a good life, to have some vacation, share a couple of drinks at the bar with a friend, and to do the stuff we want, but we don't need to be millionaires. And
if you have enough money in monthly to put out into your projects in 10 years, if you like invest every month something into your goals, you have like enough to go around.
Yes.
But some people live paycheck to paycheck and they don't have any money to invest, or it's hard to invest.
Yeah, the system is so screwed.
Yeah. So we have last like 9-8 minutes left. So we need to think about it. Think about what are gonna be the last words.
I've never watched one of your episodes, to be honest.
Yeah, that's okay.
Actually, it makes me more free to totally improvise right now, not to stick to any frame.
I'm so happy that with the podcast already 40 hours been watched. So that's crazy for me. Like 40 hours.
This is what I also loved when you told me, like, it's so inspiring. Like, if I make my first video about whatever topic and people start to watch it and actually invest the time in watching it and gaining some value from it, then it's like the best thing ever. Like, it makes me so happy to think about it. Like, it makes you happy, people watching your content, right?
I have a few high times on my podcast making. One of them are when we finish the podcast. Then I feel the relievement, the like happy enjoyment, peace, or like being excited. And then the second time is when I'm putting it out. When I release it, I'm like done. I don't care how many views it gets. Okay, it was good to see that maybe hundred of people or 40 hours been watched. Yeah, it's okay, but I get more high when it's just up or it's done.
Exactly, you do it just for yourself, for the sake of doing it, not for gaining praise, you know.
There's sometimes I feel like this, what to put out for the audience, or like something like that. But most of the time I don't care. Most of the time it's you and me having a conversation and just bringing out the best from you and adding something valuable onto you or onto what we are talking about here. So that's the like goal.
Yeah. Is there anything left on our bucket list, actually?
Nah, we just traveling.
I was
Yeah, we can end it with traveling.
thinking the same. Yeah, traveling.
We went so smoothly past every topic. Kind of, we've been in traveling as well.
Yeah. We didn't go deep into that, but yeah, we ended with traveling, I would say.
So traveling stories of opening your mind. That's what I put the label on it.
Like, I remember definitely when I finished my bachelor's, right? It took me 6 years instead of 3, which is double the time, which you should take in Germany for this study I have. And then I was like so sick of Germany that I needed to change my environment. Like, changing the environment sometimes can be the best thing ever. So you meet people who start to value you when you experience all the time the opposite, that people don't value, and then you suddenly meet people who value you. It's like, whoa, I'm valuable. I completely forgot that, you know. So I went to Thailand, and I'm telling you, like, I felt a different vibe in this country. The frequency was different than from Europe. It's the first time I left Europe, and I was just in awe. The people are so loving in Thailand. And then from Thailand, I went to Indonesia, to China, to New York, and then back to Germany to celebrate New Year's. So it was a hell of a journey. And I definitely remember one time in Pai, which is like a small village next to Chiang Mai in the north of Thailand. It's famous for the substances. You can smoke weed there, you can have psychedelic shakes like mushrooms. So people get stuck there. They love it so much they don't want to travel further. And I took one shake with a girl who I met just on the bus, and I booked the same hostel as she booked, and it was like one room left, of course, it was like a hut for me. So I checked in, we went there. I asked the guy on the receptionist, like, do you know if we can get some weed here? He said, my friend, he came to the right place. You can get some weed on the bar, you know. And then I asked him about the party. Like, you're lucky. Today is the start of the party season. So one thing led to another. I got some weed. We shared a mushroom shake with the girl, which was also available at the bar. And we went to this party, and I just arrived with her to that place, and we never met before. And I got so blown off by the shake. Unbelievable. Like, to that point where I just like laid back on that party and I completely surrendered. I let go because it was just too much at one moment. And this was the moment when my third eye opened. Like, I saw visuals. Like, everyone talked about visuals all the time. I never got any. But that time I actually saw those mandalas shaping into each other just by looking into it. And I was like, what is happening? And then I realized only months afterwards what happened that day. But this definitely was one of the nicest experiences I had on my journey. Do you have any story about Australia or where you have been which blew your mind?
I think most I don't know. I would end this podcast and just say that travel, don't be afraid of unknown, and let go of thinking how the situation will go down, because traveling and the main purpose is to open your mind and
to live in the moment,
the experience. So that's what traveling does.
Exactly. You don't know where you will be next day.
And go alone. Go alone.
Go alone is a totally different experience. Yeah.
We went with my friend, and now we're split up because I felt like, hey man, we need this. I need to leave. I need to give you the place to grow and have your own experiences. So thank you, brother. Let's take the shot and let's end this beautiful session.
Oh, an honor to be here.
Brother.
To us.
To us. And the viewers.
And the audience. For listening.
Man, this really good. Alright. Handshake as well. See you soon, brother.
See you
I'm
soon.
gonna come to Germany one time.
Hopefully, yeah.
Or you're gonna be back here.
For Jenny Bev.
Thank you for watching.